Welcome, welcome to another EBX discussion. And I thank those, my soldiers and soldierettes, salute, for coming in and joining me. Because if you are alive and breathing, we are back to fight another day. And remember, there are those that didn't wake up. We always got to be grateful for life. That's why I always give my honor to my ancestors and those that are in our family that transitioned, that we held dear. May they rest in peace and in power. And may all of us prosper and everything we touch turn to gold. And I appreciate those that interact, comment, past, present, or future. Love thy mother, love thy father. And I will always love thy sister and love thy brother, because we have to keep that spiritual momentum strong and going. And when you just true to oneself and you led by that great divine, you know, there are benefits to being original. And we're gonna talk about being original. And if nothing else in this life, brothers and sisters, my soldiers and soldierettes, salute. Just be oneself. At the end of the day, just be oneself. There are a lot of benefits to just being true and just doing you, or just doing us. And always stay centered and connected to that greater higher force that's bigger than us. I will always reiterate that and bring that up, because it's a beautiful thing when you can get to that space in your mind and we become, original. It's a beautiful thing. Now, we are inspired by others. We harness each other's strength and skills, and we formulate together and make all of us stronger collectively. We have to get away from the copying. Now, I've been through this process too, and sometimes we're not aware of it. Sometimes some of us I'm not saying everybody copies. I'm just giving an example. Sometimes when people may copy, I don't think not all of us now, but some of us do it unconsciously. We don't mean to. Sometimes we are so inspired by someone, might not realize that we're copying. So we have to be very careful of that. We want to harness each other's strength and information and things that we learn from one another. And then we find our own path, and we teach with that same momentum and that same power, but we have our own originality, because that's what it's about, having our own originality. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And being original. Benefits to being original. Always be oneself at all times. You can never go wrong when you're being oneself. So we're going to read. I always like to read. I always say you can study things too. You can look up things just like I do. So we're going to start off with the definition of being original. Okay. Now, the first is probably like two definitions, but the first one is present or existing from the beginning, first, or earliest. Okay, create directly and personally by a particular artist, not a copy or imitation. Repeat, created directly and personally by a particular artist, not a copy or imitation. It's a beautiful thing. Authentic, genuine. Something surviving as a model or basis for imitations or copies. And this is an example. The portrait may be a copy of the original. Yeah, so authentic, genuine. Study authenticity. It's still kind of a funny word for me to say. That's a funny word. Authenticity. It's a beautiful thing. Stay as original as we possibly can, folks. Excuse me. And you can never go wrong. There are many, many benefits when you just stay original. You know, when person, place, or thing goes left, we go right. When person, place, or things go right, we go left. Always do the opposite of what others are doing. I mean, those that, are following the crowd, so to speak. Always stick to the things that are important, which is our mental, ourselves, our physical, our spiritual, our family, our children, things that keep us living in this life, things that breathe life into us. So, and things that inspire us to teach one another and help one another along on this road, and not copying and not plastering what the media has all over our banners and all over our thumbnails. It's like sometimes we have discussion on these individuals in Hollywood, or that's a celebrity, or et cetera, but we perpetuate the imagery when we plaster it all over our thumbnails. So that's kind of what I'm getting at when I'm talking about being original and going left when everybody else goes right, because this social media is so tricky. You can be a sheeple in a herd and not even realize it. So that's why we have to take a lot of time off of social media and step outside the spectrum, so to speak, and really see what the hell is going on. We talk about not being distracted and not going, and going against the grain and stuff like that. But what I am observing is some are still going, to that honey I talk about. Go back and check out my podcast, My Honey Bee Theory. That's what I'm observing. Every time they put that honey out here, which is bullshit in the media, everybody flies to it. We got to cut that shit out. We got to get back to originality, my black people. We got to stop doing the same. It's crazy how they use the same tactic. I've said this before, but they literally use the same shit over and over and over. And a lot of us, not all of us now, a lot of us fall for the same shit every time. We need to get back to the basics. Stick to being original. That's why I put this on my banner. I will never give them the satisfaction of being consumed by they, and we know who they are, those that don't mean well for our black folks. I will never give them the satisfaction of being distracted by the bullshit they put out here. Sometimes, brothers and sisters, you got to sit back, and I love doing this. You got to sit back and let things play out. We discuss it, but don't plaster it all over or be unpredictable. Where is the unpredictability? Look that word up. Unpredictability is a beautiful thing when it's righteous. Can't always be predictable. We got to beat, the weakest that be at their own game. We have to penetrate the bureaucracy. If I said that right, I'm going to say it again. We have to penetrate the bureaucracy. Look that up. See what that means. And we have to do things outside of what they do, even if it is on their platform. We gotta move covert ways. We gotta get more creative in our thinking. Come on, brothers and sisters. We are powerful. Stop just saying we're powerful. Let's be powerful. And stop giving in to the same thing that they throw out here that everybody jumps on. We can discuss it in a covert way. We got to change the navigation in this world, period. Because I always go above and beyond, not just social media. Because, the righteous things we do on social media, the powerful things that my reachers and teachers are doing out here, salute, will eventually trickle out into the world, especially if you mean well and you about action and it's a burning desire within you. You eventually will step down, because a lot of us are out in the community and are doing what they're supposed to do as a brother or sister, because I have connected with some. And again, I'll mention from time to time, I volunteer at my son's school. He's 7 years old. And it's like I didn't used to be involved in my children's school and parent teacher conferences. I haven't went to those yet, but I am volunteering. So, but I will in the future be attending parent teacher conferences. Because when you have a heart, brothers and sisters, and when you're an empath and you start connecting to young brothers and sisters, I'm talking about young, and before they hit teen, that's the best time to catch them. And when you start, I've connected with some young brothers. I haven't connected, well, other than my son's, sisters. I've connected with them, but I'm talking about the ones in the school where I'm volunteering. And I have with the young brothers. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when you really start talking to these kids and see what's going on with them, it does something to your heart. I never knew the things that a lot of children are going with are dealing with inside of them. It's when you talk to them, you find out a lot of things. One, you find out the issues they might have within them. Two, you find out how smart they are. These children can be very, very smart. It's just, I don't know, because I'm not in their lives. I don't know their lives. Some of them may just be misguided some kind of way, or maybe neglected, because children, when they don't feel loved, when they don't feel that compassion from a parent or an adult, they tend to drift and they'll feel lost, and they'll look for it in their peers or someone else that they think they trust. So that's why it's important to be involved with our kids as much as we can, folks. Like, I don't want to come off like I'm perfect, because I'm not. I always teach life experiences, things I've been through. And it is important that we be involved and communicate with our children and stay original. There are benefits to just be original. Don't only take in information that's good for us and that will help us grow and give us that power to teach those before us to help them grow, especially the youth. I will always focus on the children. I always say my goal is to teach the hearts, the minds, and souls of the young and the old, but especially the young, because if you're a grown adolescent and you ain't learned shit, you might as well just fucking give it up. I mean, if you're not trying to learn nothing and you just don't give a fuck, then, you're on your own, because we as teachers out here, we're going to teach you one time. We're going to tell you one time. You might hear us say certain things multiple times because, different people haven't heard us speak. So we'll reiterate certain things just to kind of catch people up. But for those that's supposed to know better, teach you one time. If you're a grown adult and you're still doing childish shit, shame on you. It's time to grow up. We in different times now. There's no more excuses. We are in the age of information. Because a lot of us, man, we don't know. We still overwhelmed. A lot of us brothers and sisters that's raising and teaching out here. Salute. We still overwhelmed by the position we're in. Because, man, I'm telling you, there is a higher force. We just have to know this. And you will experience it. You have to take those moments and talk to that higher power. And the higher power is what? Within ourselves. Underneath all the bullshit. You can't get to your higher self if you got a bunch of shit all on top of your higher self. You will never be able to get to it. Because that great divine moves in mystical, magical, wonderful ways. And you never know how it's going to attack you. Especially if that force has a plan for you. You will know. You will know if that greater higher force has a plan for you. Those signs will always come. Especially if you're receiving and you got that pineal gland open. That's one thing we got to always remember, is to keep that pineal gland. And look that up too. Look up pineal gland and see what that's about. And, I always say, always study, always research things. You will be amazed. And it's a benefit to your life when you're looking to search and learn and know more and go above and beyond this bullshit. That's why I say, stick to being original. Stay original. You know, there are benefits to being original and being authentic and just being you. And though, and in the future, person, place, or thing will see your fruit. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to clout chase. You don't have to try to get person, place, or thing to notice us. Remember, we're original. Be oneself. No one else. There's only one us, one you. You know, can't be duplicated, can't be imitated. When you're righteously true and original to oneself. Don't try to copy or bend to nobody else's will. Don't get swayed by words of others. If you're righteous within and you mean well and you ain't on no bullshit, keep forging forward. Deflect all bullshit. Stay original through all the storms. And that great divine will be right there with us, which that force has always had. That force has always been with us, especially when we're receiving and we taking in them powers that we get from that great divine. Because the whole world, you know, that's why I would never be a celebrity, or want or ever be hungry to be in the spotlight. The space that a lot of us are in, whether we do have a big platform or small, remember, folks, that great divine, that higher force, greater supreme being has all of us in the situation that we are in right now. So stop with the fucking judging. You know, I'm talking about, I'm talking about for the right brothers and sisters out here, because there are right brothers and sisters out here. And I'm speaking up for the right ones. The ones that's, I would say, the silent heroes out here. It's a lot of them out here. And a lot of them are exploding. And we will see in the futures those that were underestimated powers will be revealed in the days to come. Because that's how that divine works. He works on the heart. He's not looking at the surface, just like a lot of us that has discernment like we do. A divine is the same way. He does us the same way. He don't give a fuck about what's on the surface or what we say. That force wants to know what's in our heart. That's what matters. All this bullshit on the outside don't mean a damn thing. That force wants what's within, because once that force can work with you on the inside, he knows that you're ready to fight that battle on the outside, and he will have those tools ready and waiting when you step into that power. So again, there are benefits to being original, and that's the only way that force can work, is if we are original. That force cannot work with fake, with our flaws and our mistakes in the human things that we do. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the great divine knows our flaws. It's all about the heart. And also, a great divine wants to watch what we take into our system. That force only wants us to listen to it. That being wants us to be led by it, not person, place, or thing. So, and what's the way to do this, folks? To stay connected to that divine and never ever get severed. Stay original. Stay authentic. Not for everyone else, for yourself. Remember, that great divine listens when nothing else will. That's what will keep us centered. A lot of times we get off track. You get into the, oh, nobody's listening to me. Nobody. Fuck that. You talk to the divine. The divine will reveal your true inner self. That's why we must stay original at all times and never copy nothing. You be inspired by those. I'm always inspired by brothers and sisters. I watch podcasts and people's videos too, just like people watch me. And I take what I hear and I incorporate it into my life as much as I can. And I'm doing just that. And like I say, folks, when you're original, you don't have to prove nothing. When you're authentic, they will come. Or those, if it's meant to be in your life, brother or sister, people, if they meant to be in your life, they will be in your life. But stick to the mission, stay on course, stay on path, stick with what's important, and most important of all, stay original. The benefits of being original is limitless, especially when you're righteous. It's the greatest feeling in the world. It's a beautiful day every day, folks. It just depends on how you look at it. Never let nobody dictate your walk or how you are or how you feel or how you're doing your goals or how you move. Because, again, must I remind you, we're led by that great force of the divine. That's where that's the only being in this whole wide world that can judge. Not person, place, or thing. So I say again, stay original, my brothers and sisters, and you'll never go wrong. Never worry about what's before us. Never worry about somebody that's bigger than you. You can't get to the top, even though it's not about getting to the top. And when I say to the top, as far as a success in our mind, you can't get to the top, if you're looking at the bottom. So stay original and be oneself at all times. Fuck what's before us. Stay strong and stay on this righteous walk that we have been building our whole lives. Don't get to this point and start crumbling. Because remember, that great divine is listening and watching and loves, and we are his favorites. Those with a like mind and have a real heart and really want to lift those and put life into those. That great divine loves that and will always protect us at all times, and will protect those that are connected to us. Because that's another one of the great gifts of when we are led and wrapped in that power of the divine. Our family, our children, anything we come in contact with, they will be blessed or blissed also, because that's how that divine works. It's like a ripple, and he sends it out to whoever connected to it. It's just all up to those that's connected. If you want to be connected, it's all up to you. You got to talk to that divine and block everything else out and stay original. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. So that's my thought. That's my real thought. That's my positive thought. And I give honor to your children. No, take that back. I do give honor to your children. My bad. I meant to say I give honor to your family, my family, and reachers and teachers all over the world. And I honor my children and their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. May you have peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. One.